carry everything. My name is Jerry Askins. I'm kind of new to the G-Bos family, but today I've been asked to demonstrate cooking some over-the-top smoked chili. So we're just going to jump right into it. Smoking food is one of the things that, I don't know about you, but men, it's one of the things we really, really like to do. And to have everybody enjoy it is even better, right? So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. First thing we're gonna do is start adding ingredients to our pan here. And these are the things that are gonna meld together while we get our meat good and smoked and ready to go into our chili. First thing we're gonna start with is a diced up onion. I'm kind of lazy, so I bought the pre-diced onion. If you like dicing onion, more power to you. The next thing I got is I got a bell pepper. This I did have to chop by myself, but you know, one red bell pepper. We're gonna go ahead and add that in as well. If you haven't seen these are Drippy tubs that carry at G-Bos. Both sides, this side and the inside of the actual tub itself are actual cutting boards. I got mine for Christmas and I've loved it. So I just wanted to show it to you guys. Then we're gonna start adding our canned ingredients. Now I know we're in Texas, we really say beans don't belong in chili, but for what we're doing today, we're gonna add some beans just so we have a little more substance and it's more friendly on a budget. So we're gonna start out, we're gonna add 2 cans of dark red kidney beans. Next thing I'm gonna do, since it's chili, we're in Texas, we're gonna use some good old ranch style beans. I think it just adds a little more depth of flavor to our actual chili. I'm making a mess, guys. Sorry about that. So 2 cans of ranch style beans. Obviously you can use whatever kind of beans you want, but I think these 2 go really good with chili. Next thing we're gonna add a can of Rotel. Add that little bit of spice to our chili without overdoing it. I know some people like spicy chili, some people don't. At the end you can add some more seasoning, some ground red pepper, some red pepper flakes, or whatever you like to spice it up even more. Next thing we're gonna do, 2 cans of diced tomatoes. And you know what? I didn't grab a spoon, guys. So, also says 2 cans of tomato soup. Thank you, Nikki. So I grabbed a large can. It's going to be the same amount of soup that you would normally use. This is 2 cans of beef broth. So I just grabbed the big one. It's got 4 cups in it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dump about half of this in here. What we want to do is just really add a little bit of moisture to our mixture so as it's cooking, it doesn't dry out. Then we're going to start adding our, thank you, Nikki. Going to go ahead and mix this up just a little bit just to get everything incorporated in before we start adding our spices. It has a unique way of adding spices to their chili. Some people like to buy the 2 alarm chili kits. Some people like to do it on their own. Me, we're gonna try it on our own today. Normally I do it both ways, but here I've got about 1.5 tablespoons or so of minced garlic. Minced garlic is one of my favorite things to cook with. If you can't tell, I've already used the majority of this. So I'm just gonna add what I've got left in there to my mixture. Normally I would measure it out, but I know there's only about a tablespoon and a half in there. Next, we're going to add 4 tablespoons of chili powder. Chili powder is what really gives chili its flavor. So I don't know about you, heaping tablespoons tend to work best. It's not an exact science. Really, at the end, we're going to add, I'm sure we'll add some more spices just to get it right to where we want it. But it's really good. Next thing I'm gonna add is some cumin. I don't know about y'all, but I like this little Fiesta brand. I pick it up at United, but it seems to have more flavor than the bottled stuff that you can pick up in. Ooh, slow down. So we're gonna add 4 teaspoons of cumin.
Ooh,
Cumin you don't want to overdo. Try to stay as close to 4 teaspoons as possible, because cumin is one of those things that will overpower your dishes. And you want everything to kind of meld together and blend together so that it adds a very good boldness to your food. Last thing I like to use smoked paprika. A lot of people use regular paprika, but I just feel like smoked paprika adds that little extra hint of smoke, and it just makes food taste so much better. We're gonna add 2 tablespoons of this. And yes, I'm reusing the same tablespoon. Just spices. All right, now we've got all of our spices in there. I like to wait till the end to salt and pepper, because we're using canned stuff, so it's already got some salt in it, and you definitely just want to be really careful with the amount of salt you put in, because you can always add more salt, but you can't take it out. Once you get all that mixed up good, get that all stirred together, then we can set that off to the side. And what we'll do is we'll come back to it when we get ready to add it to the smoker. All right, next step in this is we're gonna start getting our meat mixture together. Now for this over-the-top chili, I'm gonna use 2 pounds of some really good ground beef, and I went down to one of our local places, Frontier Market, and picked up this local sourced ground beef. But we're gonna open that ground beef up. I have 2 pounds here. The recipe is kind of doubled for the purposes that I have for today. Obviously, we're making chili. I'm gonna feed a bunch of folks. And so the next thing I'm gonna use, you can use any kind of pork. I choose to use a pork sausage. Sausage is already spiced and things like that. Jimmy Dean, we're in the home of Jimmy Dean, so we're definitely gonna use Jimmy Dean sausage. So 1 pound of that Jimmy Dean sausage, just to add, really we're adding the fat to it, because we want that fat. Fat is flavor, right? Sometimes your meat can be a little lean. You need to have that little bit of extra fat so that it drips down into your chili and adds all that flavor. That's where all the flavor is. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this incorporated, mixed together really good, because we don't want to have just a ball of hamburger or a ball of sausage. We want it good and mixed together so that it just, when it cooks, it just blends well together. All right, so the reason this is called over-the-top chili, we put our meat over the top of our chili pan, right? What we want to do is we want to get a good smoke on this meat. I've gone ahead and I've seasoned it up with some of my favorite seasonings, especially for chili. It's a good mixture of salt, pepper, cayenne pepper, and garlic. Some of the best things that belong in chili. So if you were wondering why I didn't add my salt and my pepper and my cayenne pepper already, that's the reason why it's in my rub. Don't want to overdo it. Want to make sure it's just perfect at the end, so we'll add some more seasonings at the end just to taste. So I've gone ahead and I put it on a rack and placed it on top of the chili. Why did I do that? We want all those great drippings to go right into that chili. That's where the flavor's at, guys. And so now we're just gonna take our pan and we're gonna move it over to the smoker, the Pit Boss pellet smoker. We're just gonna add it straight to our pellet smoker here. Today, I've got it set at 250 degrees. One thing I did forget, got to add that temperature probe. Why don't I want to add the probe, you ask? Well, I only want to smoke it at 225 until the internal temperature of my hamburger meat mixture, or my meat mixture, has reached an internal temperature of 145 degrees. At 145 to 150 degrees, that's time to crumble it up and add it to that great chili, and then we'll finish it off for a couple more hours on a higher temperature. One more thing I forgot to mention. Today, yes, we are using the Pit Boss pellet smoker, but what kind of pellets are we using? We're using the
Bear Mountain
mesquite pellets. These are some things that you can pick up at Gebo's. But what we've done is we filled our hopper up with those pellets and got it started. We're up to a temperature of 235 right now because I've opened the smoker. So we'll give it just a little bit to get back up to temperature, and we'll let it cook for probably about an hour and 15 minutes until that meat gets up to an internal temperature of 145 to 150. We'll see you in a little bit. All right, so we're getting ready to open up the smoker to take off our meat. We've reached an internal temperature of 142 degrees right now, so we're pretty close. So we're gonna go ahead and take this meat off and get it ground up so we can put it back in our chili. Oh, doesn't that look good? Go ahead and take our probe out, set it to the side. Remember, this is gonna be hot, so use your gloves. Go ahead and take that off. Doesn't it look good, Nikki?
Oh, yum. And it smells amazing.
All right, so I'm just gonna set this over to the side while I attend to this. You can crumble your meat any way you like. Most of the time I just use my hands, but today I'm gonna use this knife to kind of chop it up. But look at that, it's got such a pretty smoke ring and everything in it. And while it doesn't look like it's completely done inside, it's good. I'm tempted just to slice it and eat it now.
Yeah. And he's cutting on the top of that Drippy's bucket lid again, so makes it really nice to be able to have all your stuff together.
And the beautiful thing about that Drippy's is it is the top of that and the bottom of the inside of that are cutting boards. So I want to get it chopped up pretty good. Some people like big chunks of meat in theirs. I kind of like it to go a little ways. There's already going to be big chunks of stuff like beans and those onions and bell peppers that are in there. So we're going to try to get this diced a little bit finer so that we can, when we incorporate it, it'll have a good balance all throughout the chili.
Now,
So I don't know about you, but I'm one of those that I like to try to eat all the way through. So I'm gonna go ahead and taste this. That's good stuff. That sausage and that seasoning that we put on it adds just the right flavor to it. So now you see we got it chopped up. Now we're ready to add that to our chili, and then we can go some more. So one thing I do want to do is I want to stir this chili a little bit. You can see it's kind of loose right now. As we add this meat to it, it'll start to thicken up some. And so just add your meat to it all. Then we're going to stir it all up together, get it incorporated really well. And then we're going to put our cornbread in here with it and cook it all together. I've got most of my meat off of there, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stir it all in together. That 3 pounds of meat was just about right. It's gonna make a good meaty chili. I don't know about you, but I like meaty chilies. Look at that rich, dark flavor. That dark color right there, that's all of our spices and things that we've cooked into it. Y'all, this is looking and smelling pretty good. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna let it cook for about another hour or so. We're gonna let those cook for about an hour. I did turn the heat up to 350. We're gonna close it, let it go.
good.
All right, so we're chili. Oh, that's looking pretty tasty. So now let's go ahead and take the time to do a little taste test and see if we need to add some spices or anything to it. Notice we didn't add any salt or anything, so it's gonna burn if I eat it.
I was gonna say.
That's pretty good.
It's bubbling.
Nikki, I even brought a spoon for you.
Oh, hang on. See if I can burn myself.
That's pretty good.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
I think we need to add, might add a little cayenne pepper to it here in a minute. I like it a little spicier, but I'm gonna check with everybody before I do that. Gonna let it go for about another 10 minutes and it's gonna be good to eat. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We really enjoyed it and we hope you try some of this over the top smoked chili. As we wrap things up, if you guys are interested in the recipe that we used, we're going to have it on our website, gbos.com. Have the recipe for the over the top chili and for the corn muffins. You guys have a great weekend.